Hey everyone, welcome back to Genai Mac News. And wow, do we have a packed show for you today. Let's kick things off with the biggest story making waves across the Apple world right now. Apple is going ultra, and not just with chips. Both 9 to 5 Mac and Mac rumors are reporting, citing sources familiar with Apple's plans, that two major upcoming Apple products will carry the Ultra name. We're talking about the long-rumored foldable iPhone, which will officially be called the iPhone Ultra, and a new touchscreen MacBook, which will be called the MacBook Ultra. Now here's what makes this really interesting. According to Mac rumors, the iPhone Ultra won't be lumped in with the iPhone 18 lineup, even though it's expected to launch around the same time as the iPhone 18 Pro and Pro Max. Think of it like how the iPhone X launched separately from the iPhone 8 back in 2017. This is Apple creating a brand new tier above Pro. And Macworld, who also corroborated the story, says Apple is clearly on a mission to build out the Ultra brand across its entire product lineup, not just chips, not just the Mac Pro. Ultra is becoming Apple's new flagship designation across the board. The MacBook Ultra, meanwhile, is expected to be that touchscreen MacBook Pro everyone has been buzzing about. So if you've been wondering what Apple's most premium laptop of 2026 looks like, now you know what it might be called. This is shaping up to be one of the most transformative product years in Apple history. And we're just getting started. Alright, staying in the world of future Apple products. Because honestly, the rumor mill is absolutely spinning right now. Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, one of the most reliable Apple insiders in the business, has been busy. According to 9 to 5 Mac, Gurman recently outlined a sweeping vision for Apple's next chapter, specifically tied to incoming CEO John Ternus taking the reins on September 1st. And this weekend, Gurman added even more detail, with fresh updates on two highly anticipated products, Apple AR glasses and a foldable iPad. Now, the AR glasses have been the stuff of legend for years. Gurman's latest suggests development is continuing in earnest, and they could be one of the headline products of the Ternus era. As for the iPad Fold, this one has an interesting backstory. Macworld reports that John Ternus himself actually designed a large-format folding iPad concept that was described internally as, quote, wacky. But here's the twist. Apple Insider and Macworld both note that while the foldable iPhone is almost certainly coming, the giant foldable iPad may never actually make it to consumers. It could remain an internal experiment. Gurman's broader reporting suggests Apple is planning to enter multiple brand-new product categories under Ternus. Not just foldables, but potentially smart home hardware powered by its revamped AI foundation models as well. This is a very different Apple than the one we've known for the past decade. And it sounds like Ternus is planning to make his mark fast. Okay, this next story genuinely caught me off guard, and I think it'll surprise you too. OpenAI is making a phone. A real, honest-to-goodness smartphone designed to compete directly with the iPhone. This is a significant reversal from previous statements that OpenAI had no plans to enter the handset market. According to 9 to 5 Mac rumors, and Apple Insider, supply chain analyst Ming-Chi Kuo posted findings on X saying that MediaTek and Qualcomm are already in talks as chip partners. Luxshare Precision, the same company heavily involved in iPhone manufacturing, is lined up as the exclusive manufacturing partner, and mass production is currently scheduled for 2028. Now, Apple Insider points out the elephant in the room. OpenAI is burning through cash at a staggering rate. The company has massive operational costs and is still far from sustainable profitability. So building an entirely new hardware product is a colossal undertaking and a huge financial risk. But here's what makes it plausible. OpenAI is already collaborating with Johnny Ive. Yes, the legendary former Apple design chief, on a separate AI hardware project. So the design talent and manufacturing relationships are already being built. The vision, it seems, is an AI-native smartphone from the ground up, not just a phone with an AI assistant bolted on, but something where artificial intelligence is central to every interaction. Will it actually happen? 2028 is still a long way away, and a lot can change. But the fact that supply chain checks are already confirming chip conversations, this is more real than most expected. Let's talk about Apple's incoming CEO for a moment, because John Ternus has been making some very telling statements. According to 9 to 5 Mac, Ternus recently spoke to Apple employees and signaled that services are going to remain a massive growth priority under his leadership. Now, this is notable because Ternus built his entire career in hardware. He's the guy behind the M-chip transition, the redesigned MacBook lineup, Apple Silicon, all of it. Services were never really his domain. But Ternus apparently told staff there is, quote, so much opportunity to expand Apple's services business. That's a pretty strong signal that even as he pushes Apple into exciting new hardware categories, the services engine, App Store, Apple TV Plus, Apple Music, iCloud, isn't slowing down. And speaking of Apple hardware flying off shelves, Mac Rumors is reporting that the MacBook Neo, Apple's more affordable laptop that launched back in March, has become a massive hit. So much so that Apple.com is currently quoting 2 to 3 week delivery estimates on every single model. The demand has just overwhelmed supply. But here's the good news if you want one right now. Mac Rumors notes that both Amazon and Walmart have MacBook Neo units in stock, with some models available as soon as tomorrow, and they're even offering small discounts compared to Apple's own pricing. So if you've been eyeing the Neo, skip Apple's website for now and check those retailers instead. Here's a story that doesn't get enough attention. Apple's AI ambitions aren't just about your iPhone. They're about your entire home. Apple Insider is reporting, citing Bloomberg's Power On newsletter from Mark Gurman, that Apple's AI push is expected to spawn 3 entirely new hardware product categories, all focused on the smart home. The centerpiece of this push appears to be a long-rumored Apple Home Hub, a tablet-like device that would magnetically attach to various surfaces and appliances around your house. What's interesting here is the technology behind it. According to the report, Apple's revamped foundation models, which are being enhanced with help from Google Gemini, are what's finally making these products feasible. Essentially, Apple needed its AI to be good enough before launching smart home hardware, and it seems like they're getting closer. Now, there's a caveat. The release window for these products is still uncertain. Apple Insider notes that delays to Apple Intelligence have pushed back smart home hardware timelines before, and that pattern could repeat. But the direction is clear. Under John Ternus, Apple wants to own the smart home in the same way it owns the smartphone. 3 new hardware categories is an ambitious target, and if even one of them lands well, it could be a significant new revenue stream for Apple. All right. Let's take a quick break from the big news and talk deals, because there are some genuinely great ones live right now. First up, AirPods Pro 3. According to 9 to 5 Mac's Deals Roundup via 9 to 5 Toys, they've dropped back down to holiday pricing over the weekend. If you missed that window earlier in the year, you've got another shot. Next, the M5 MacBook Air. Mac Rumors is highlighting that the 13-inch M5 MacBook Air with 512 gigabytes of storage is back down to just $949.99 on Amazon. That's $150 off the regular $1,099 price tag, and it's available in all colors. The 15-inch model is also seeing close to $150 off. Mac Rumors notes they're an affiliate partner with Amazon, so worth keeping that in mind, but the deal is very real. And finally, Apple Watch Series 11 is seeing some of its best discounts yet, with up to $130 off depending on the model, according to 9 to 5 Mac. If you've been on the fence about upgrading your wrist game, this might be the moment. We'll drop links in the description so you can jump straight to the best prices. Deals like these don't last forever, so worth acting fast if any of these are on your wish list. And before we wrap up, here's a quick accessory spotlight that caught my eye. 9 to 5 Mac has reviewed the Aulumu M10 multi-charging power bank, and it sounds like a genuinely clever piece of kit. Most MagSafe battery packs do one thing. They snap onto your iPhone and top it up. The Aulumu M10 does 3 things. It wirelessly charges your iPhone via MagSafe, your Apple Watch, and your AirPods, all at the same time, from a single device. For anyone who travels a lot or just hates carrying multiple chargers, the appeal here is obvious. You've essentially got a compact 3-in-1 charging solution in your bag instead of 3 separate accessories. 9 to 5 Mac describes it as a high-capacity pack, so you're not sacrificing battery size for the multi-device convenience either. It's the kind of accessory that won't make headlines on its own, but if you're deep in the Apple ecosystem, it's exactly the kind of thing that quietly makes your daily life a lot smoother. We'll have the link in the description if you want to check it out. All right. That's going to do it for today's show. What a packed day in the Apple world. Ultra products, a potential iPhone competitor from OpenAI, a new CEO shaping Apple's future, and some great deals to boot. If you found any of this useful, hit that like button, and if you're new here, subscribe so you never miss an episode of Genai's Mac News. I'll see you in the next one.